What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles. You are listening to Lyles Movie Files. We are going to have what I anticipate is going to be one of our most heated episodes of all time. We are closing in on episode 100, and this could be the one that has Chief, Jace, Javon, and myself fired up. So strap your seatbelts and get ready because we are going to go off. I'm sure you know what we're talking about, but we're going to go into that soon. There is a lot of big news going on throughout the week, but none bigger was the Sony and Disney fallout over Spider-Man. So let's get things rolling. We're about to break into episode 99. Can you imagine that? So thank you so much for listening. Even if you just listened to 2 or 3 shows, we've got 99 in the bank now, and we're about to keep going with another 199. So joining me tonight, little brother Jace. How are you?
I'm good. As you said, this week has us a little fired up, and once again, thank you guys, all the listeners, for coming in, and we'll try and keep you entertained for the next hour or two for your day at work. All right.
Chief, what's up with you, man?
Everything cool, man. Everything cool. Shout out to my fellas. Shout out to the listeners.
J King, what's up with you?
Hey man, coolin', man. I want to thank y'all for making this such a. When I say y'all, I mean our crew, our Laos, our LMF crew, to make it to 99. It's a big thing, And for the listeners, man, thank y'all, man. This has been an incredible journey. Can't wait to bring y'all 100.
We did basically a watch along on Jurassic Games, maybe like around episode 75. It was amazing and incredible. Fellas, I have the next movie that we absolutely have to watch together called Velocipaster.
What?
Is about, yes. Yes. It is. It was something I didn't know it was a movie I didn't know how badly I needed to see in my life. It's about a priest. He's not even a pastor, which makes it even better. He's a priest who, in a ridiculous coincidence, finds a dinosaur claw. It slashes his hand, and he becomes a dinosaur.
You don't even need to explain that. Just win. Yeah. You don't even need to explain that.
But Javon, they're also ninjas.
Come on, man. Win.
I believe the answer you're looking for is not soon enough.
Oh, man. You don't even need to go any further.
I won't, because I can't spoil. I mean, it was just like,
don't.
Wow. This movie's just ridiculous, and I love it. So, yeah, we're going to do that very soon. And, we're going to talk soon about our all-time worst films of this past decade. Velocipaster will not be on that list, but I think if we were to come up with a guilty pleasure, it would definitely be my 2019 film. So let's get in right now on some of the big stuff. I'm going to save my big tirade for a little bit later. Rian Johnson was on Joseph Gordon-Levitt's podcast this past week, and he was talking about, of course, all of the love and adoration he received from Star Wars Last Jedi. And he said, I think the instant you start thinking in terms of how do you not step outside of the bounds of what the original movies did, you're not thinking the way the people who made the original movies did. With every movie, they were pushing it forward. With every movie, they were stepping outside those bounds and pushing the characters into new, emotionally honest, but surprising places. Now, I get what he's saying, and I understand the, hey, let's try something new. But to me, when you step into a franchise and it's 9 films deep at this point, it probably shouldn't dramatically change the characters who audiences have come to care and love for 4 to 5 films. What do you guys think on that? Jace, you had a coughing issue before. Let's start with
you. Yeah. It was, we was talking about all the love, adoration for Last Jedi.
That was me.
Yeah, I know. I also laughed at your sarcasm because it was appropriate. Frankly, we talk about this. We've talked about this almost ad nauseum. Is you don't crap in somebody else's pool. I mean, that's just basically what he did. It's like I know I like these characters, but he didn't like put them in like extra compromising emotional states. Like, hey, Luke, what would you do when all of your students turn to the dark side? It's like I mean, but that I mean, some of that was probably set up by what's his face's film, uh, J.J. Abrams. Like, why was Luke in that position? Like, why did he punk out and run against the First Order when nobody else knows what the hell the First Order was? Like, some of that table was set before. He really, I mean, he's just like his movie just didn't move anybody further. I mean, it's like Leia died, but I mean, it's like his logic doesn't make sense on that, honestly. I mean, just you could just break it down piece by piece. It's like nobody did anything different. It's like everybody their 180 wasn't a good 180. It wasn't emotionally charged, and it focused too much on the old people. It's like
Exactly. That's my whole thing. It's like those characters are already established. You've got everything in front of Finn, Poe, Rey, and Kylo Ren, Hux, the
I mean,
worm
Hux was
guy.
like a joke.
Yeah, it was weird because it's like you've got a whole movie. I mean, this is your middle of the trilogy that you really need to dig deep into these new characters. For better or worse, the fans already have expectations and thoughts of which way the original trilogy characters act and behave. And even if you do stuff counter to that, they're still going to default to what they've grown up with. And with these new characters, you've got a wide plate that you can do whatever, and people go, okay, I guess that's how they are. And what was done in Force Awakens doesn't really establish them to a point where it's like, okay, that's not true. I mean, if he goes, hey, Finn, I was never a stormtrooper, then you're going, well, that's not what we learned from the last movie. But everything else is wide open.
Like
I think to me that's a big
Ray's
flaw.
parents could have been somebody.
Yeah, I mean,
Like you thought that was cool not to have them as anybody. It was like, well, okay, but then it's just a waste of my time. Then, all right, Kylo Ren, he turns to the dark side. It wasn't some big revelation why he turned into the dark side because Luke was secretly teaching the dark side. Like, oh, that would have been interesting. No, it was just
there's so many different ways he could have gone, and I just feel like his desire to do something different made a story lackluster and dull. Kind of didn't stay on the path of the characters who'd already been established, and didn't do enough with the new characters. Javon, what's your take on this, man?
I'll kick his ass. I mean, you don't get to sit there and make that kind of a movie and then make those comments. It was a bad movie. It was a bad movie. And it wasn't bad because the actors. It was bad because of the material. This is the best you could do. There were so many things that you put into this movie, and I don't know what kind of story he was trying to tell. There were so many things that they put in that they could have left out because they really didn't make any sense. There were so many times where you were watching this movie and like, I'm bored to tears with this.
Did
Like
anybody need that
the Monaco?
Yeah.
Do we need the Monaco of the galaxy? No, we ain't need that. We ain't need that. Who cares? Who cares? Did we need to see Princess Leia floating from space back into the? Did we need to see Laura Dern with the grand plan that she can't share anybody to use the spaceship as a spear into the whatever whatever
Remember,
Federation?
The grand plan was The grand plan was to just run.
To just run and come on, yeah, exactly.
Like,
that was the
so
grand
what are we
plan.
doing? Running.
We're running.
But here's another question though.
Mm-hmm.
They attacked that Star Killer base, and did they not come up with a plan like, hey, once we blow this up, there may be some guys coming after us? What are we going to do? We're going to run. What? I
What
mean,
he's gonna hide?
how about just like we're gonna hyperdrive, jump to etc. Nah, dude, we're just gonna keep
And at
going,
the end of this, so you
and
mean
we're
to
gonna
tell
keep it
me?
secret to everybody.
And then at the end of it all, you mean to tell me you kept yourself holed up in this like I don't know, stone wall bunker thing here, this side of a cliff, and nobody thought on the other side maybe we're just gonna leave everything here at the front door, huh?
Maybe we could put some guns in here, a couple other escape ships.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is
just
our
Nothing.
desperation place, but we didn't
anything.
do anything. Is there any food in here? Nah, we just figured we just waited out. Like,
We're
I
really
was
gonna hope that Luke Skywalker becomes a Force ghost and distracts the Empire of one of these.
Hey, was
long
I the
enough for us
only
to
one
kill it.
that was expecting more from Ray's training? I mean, now granted, Ray's the unexplainable Jedi Force with no real connection to the Skywalkers in any sense. She's not a Kenobi. She's not a Kenobi. She's not a Skywalker. Apparently, she's just Ray.
she's a
Ray from
Palpatine.
Ray from the desert. Oh, she's a Palpatine. That's legit. Or that's what we think.
No, I mean that would make more sense. She's
It would.
Palpatine's
Actually,
more
it would.
kids.
No, it would. It would. And the little tryst he had on Tatooine or something. I don't know. Give us
got
something.
bored.
But I was really expecting more from her training with Luke. I was really expecting more because remember the trailer when they showed how she was cracking the ground and splitting atoms or whatever?
Right, and Luke was amazed because Rey did so fantastic that no other Jedi ever in the history of Jedi has ever done.
Especially when he has all the Jedi books that obviously, like, hey, Yoda did some stuff, but
now, granted, Luke's training was brief. It was kind of, hey, he's a Skywalker though. We with that.
He had the legacy pedigree, so all this stuff was intuitive to him, being the offspring of probably what we'd have been established as the greatest Force user ever.
Ever, right? Bet.
So if he got like a percentage of that, he's better than most of the. I mean, because there's no one around, and he hadn't done anything spectacular, but it's like, oh, okay. It's like the kid who's a prodigy who just learns it because, oh, okay, yeah, my daddy did this, so it's in my DNA.
Yeah, exactly. That's doable. It's acceptable. Mm-hmm. Also, to that end, I was like, okay.
And honestly, Javon, and the whole thing was, he wasn't doing anything that spectacular.
Not really.
Mean,
right.
He used the Force to focus to destroy the Death Star, but it was basically shooting. So it was just a focus moment with the Force, which we saw him learn earlier in the movie with Obi-Wan. And then he learned how to
womp rats and all of that.
Right, so we knew he had shooting experience, and hey, I can focus shoot. Okay, great. So that was laid out for us. And in Empire, he is not fighting someone who's trying to kill him. He's fighting someone who's trying to test to see how strong he is. The whole thing with the Sith that we've learned in the prequels, what they do is they try to get the Jedi or whoever's fighting them up to a certain level to tap in and trigger their rage, like a Street Fighter. X trigger. Now tapped into the dark side. Now you're mine. Yeah. And
it's all about getting a next apprentice, right?
Right. And so he's saying, okay, I see you. But Darth, it really is not coming at him like, oh, I'm going to kill you like I did those rebel dudes in Rogue One.
Right.
So, they were just throwing little stuff at you while you're trying to concentrate is literally just like breaking all your
It's the
serenity.
same stuff that Yoda was doing in the Force with him. So everything in those movies we see. And then in Jedi, he's not doing anything that spectacular either.
Right.
He's choking up some Gamorrean guards, which, okay, you learn how to do that because you learn how to move objects. I mean, so everything that we saw Luke do in those 3 films all makes sense. And it's not like he's a Superman Jedi at the end of it.
He wasn't choking those dudes up. He was literally putting them to sleep.
Well, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jay.
No, it was like, I'm sorry. Like, he was just putting them to sleep. He did nothing phenomenal. And then we're supposed to think he's a great Jedi, but we never saw him. We don't know the 30 years where he was being this great Jedi. But we're jumped into this universe, and just like Luke Skywalker is awesome. So what did Luke Skywalker do? He ran.
But Luke Skywalker is also a good Jedi because he's the only one left.
He's the only one left.
So by default, he's the best Jedi.
But you know what really pissed me off more than all of these things we can go on and on about that movie, right?
Yeah, what's up?
So while while Ryan Johnson's breaking his arm to pat himself on the back, what he did, what J.J. Abrams established in the first film, was establish the big bad, and we knew Kylo Ren was the dummy. He's Darth, you know.
The pawn.
He's the pawn. Supreme Leader Snoke, who was this shadowy figure. We didn't know anything about him. No backstory, no nothing. He's just ugly as hell and a hologram.
Hmm.
Why in the second movie is he dressed like Ike Turner and he dies? I mean, his apprentice kills him. So we don't get to know anything about Supreme Leader Snoke. You built up this character and kind of left us hanging in that regard, because I was thinking, okay, maybe we'll get to see what he's about, what his motivations are, what is his backstory, anything. Nah, nothing. A brief explanation, and then he got sliced in half in his gold lame suit. What was the female stormtrooper leader?
Phasma.
Captain Phasma.
Captain Phasma. She was a badass until it came time to fight. What was the point? What was the point? What was the point? So it was like really disappointing. It was really disappointing. The trailer let on more than the film did. You really thought you were going to see some things and get a little more, but he made a really flat, tepid movie to me. And don't break your arm trying to pat yourself on the back for a job well done when you didn't do a damn thing worth doing.
But again, okay.
Hold on. So, Chief, we talked about these first two films. Now, we've got the Rise of Skywalker trailer, and a lot of people on Twitter that I saw were very excited about that. But I'm kind of like, nope, 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 no, no. I'm not falling for this. I saw what happened before. You're not going to get me again. Did you see anything in that trailer that made you go, okay, I'm ready, I'm on board to see where they go with this final installment of this trilogy?
No. No. I mean, it's you know, I'm with Javon, man. They kept building you up to take you nowhere. You know, why is the girl so special? She isn't. What's Luke been doing? What's his powers? We're not gonna show you. You know, like, what has so and so been doing since then? You don't get that. I mean, the whole thing, it's a whole bunch of build up to no answers. It's just, we got no answers on that thing. It was just empty. It was lonely. Why? So, you know, even not knowing who she was, she defeats a guy who has been training all his life for this fighting. So, but there's no reason why she should be able to defeat him. You know what I mean? You know, we're watching him fight, and we're just watching somebody who shouldn't have any power, shouldn't be any special, just defeating Kylo Ren. Why? Because she can now. That's why. She needs a way out. A little silver fox appears. Well, who's the silver fox? Why is the silver fox helping her out? Nobody knows why. He just came. Let me help you out of the cage. I'm a silver fox. So then Luke displays his powers, dies. Just, all right, I have traveled across the galaxy in my astral form, and now I will disappear. I'm not even an old man. Like he committed suicide. I'm through with this life. You know? And then why the hell hasn't he been fighting the Empire all this time? You went and hid, and You didn't fight the Empire at all? Like, what the hell? It just didn't make any sense, man.
Hey,
like, you
Chief.
split from your sister's still fighting, and you hiding on an island.
Hey, Chief.
You know what I mean?
It was like, yeah, I can whoop this youngin', but I'd rather just go ahead and disappear into this road.
Yeah. He just disappeared into the roads, man. He was just like, you know, and it's funny because Yoda was old. Obi-Wan was old. Yoda was old. Yoda died of old age. Let's get that. So when Yoda disappeared, he died of old age. Obi-Wan let Vader strike him down, but Obi-Wan at that point, for whatever reason, it was only 20 years later, but Obi-Wan was like in his 90s.
Hard living on Tatooine.
Right. You know what I mean? You don't want that Tatooine living. So he died. Then you see, where the hell's Qui-Gon? But anyway, so then Luke disappears. Vader disappears. Yo, so now when you're tired of living, you just give up? I don't even know, man. Snoke's, another build up to nothing. Who's Snoke's? Let's see. Could he be this? Could he be this person? He's nobody. All right. So this next Star Wars, man, I'm not even excited about it, man. I don't know what they could. I don't even know what they could bring that would make it interesting anymore. Like you've taken away all the build-ups, and you've got. That's just like tomorrow. I just show up at one of your houses, and then I just fly off. You know, hey, what are you doing out here? Good morning, fellas. No explanation, no nothing. I'm just flying off. Why the hell did I come? Why am I outside your house? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, why make this into a, why put these elements into the movie? Just to have me fly away with no word. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense for me. It didn't make any sense. The new trailer didn't do anything for me anyways. Like, she sees the thing coming. She sees the ship coming. She turns away from it dramatically. Let me grab my saber, and then I'm going to flip. Like, why?
Why though?
Why?
I was thinking,
Why?
you know, Luke saw a speeder bike coming at him. He could have flipped over that and jumped on it. Because, like, I could just destroy it and call it a night.
Right. You don't even
could
have
just
to.
divert it
It
with the
doesn't
force.
have to get near
Just move
you.
it out of my way.
Right. You can just stop it from where it is. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. When we first met Kylo Ren, didn't he stop a laser blast?
Yeah.
He did. Stopped it.
Didn't he stop a laser blast? And then has the movie kept going? He got progressively weaker?
With some girl who never picked up a lightsaber.
Remember, Finn was holding his own against Kylo Ren.
In fairness, both Finn and Rey had staff training. Finn had it with the
self-defense training class.
You know, whatever the bogus, the first order troops. And Rey was out in the bushes and the sticks on Tatooine or wherever she was, Jakarta, using her staff on Jakku. You know, it's sad that I would have known all this stuff backwards and forwards.
Hey, look
you're talking about the other trilogies, but this one, wherever that place was.
You know, all that would be good if they was facing some bounty hunter in the woods, but this guy has the Jedi bloodline. He's Luke's student, and not for nothing, Luke couldn't even kill this kid in his sleep.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like, okay, if he wanted to stop Finn, all he has to do is use the Force and just turn the dude around because he has no defense on it and slice him in half.
He was shot, remember? Chewie shot him, and that killed all of his Force ability use.
If he's supposed to be a dark side user, that should actually make him stronger because he's pissed.
No, he was very emotionally conflicted.
Jeff.
His control over the dark side is so great that Snoke didn't even know he was trying to kill him. Like,
Snoke didn't even know his apprentice was going to kill him.
There's a reason why the apprentice usually kills the master in his sleep. You know what I mean? there's a reason that they don't kill him just outright. You know what I mean? They don't joke like. If that was possible, couldn't any old apprentice just walk up to their master with the lightsaber just like
Hey, I'm done with you now.
I'm going to turn your lightsaber against you.
Right.
Hey, I'm done with you now.
At an angle and just be like, man, turn it on and shit. That would happen. That's what the killing would have been about. I'm gonna just walk up to him like I'm talking to him and then just turn the lightsaber on.
Gotcha.
No, we didn't do that. We killed him in his sleep. Hey man, you sleepy? Yeah, I'm gonna turn it in. All right, man. Good night.
Hey,
and then later on, and then later on, he comes in and kills like, yep, you drank too much wine tonight. And then later on, he comes like, that's
like goes, you up? You up? Hey, you up?
Right.
Hey, perfect
right.
example.
Hey.
Kill Bill, right?
Hey,
what did Ellie do to
up?
Padme?
Right.
Right.
Oh man.
Hey, Plagueis, you up? Plagueis. Cool. Let me grab my lightsaber. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying, man. Like nobody kills like you, because if you're the master, you're attuned to your apprentice trying to kill you. There can only be two. The reason why the rule of two is in place is because that.
Well, remember, these aren't Sith. These are First Order Knights of the Ren.
Gabs.
They're feeding off the dark side, and the reason why, because with two, you're not feeding out of that dark side trough and depleting it. Like with only one, like Luke should have been the most powerful Jedi because he was the only one left, and all that the good force, if we could, you know what I mean, the light, he was supposed to be receiving it all. It doesn't make any sense though, man. It was stupid. The new one's probably going to be stupid. They, they talking about he didn't want to, the characters do this and that. You know what happens when you change characters? It's called a spinoff. You know what I mean? It's not,
I know folks are excited about The Boys on Amazon Prime, and it's like, if you want to have a different take on superheroes, you do something like that. Like, I like Rian Johnson's Looper, but it's like, if that's not the movie, I mean, but so as I still say, a lot of that was on Fox or Disney for greenlighting that film. They should have read the script and be like, yeah, that's not the characters we want. Let's try again. Like, that's on them for letting that movie get released. And now it's like, well, I don't believe everybody isn't happy with Star Wars. It's like, because that was a bad.
Hey, The Boys is good. Like, if I got my choice between watching Star Wars and The Boys, that's an easy call.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, The Boys is like, if instead of saying, hey, we want you to do Justice League, can you do that? Nah, I think I got a different take on superheroes that I want to tell. So let me tell this in this story, The Boys. If you're greenlighting that script, especially after we jumped into a universe we used to be in, and 30 years has gone by and it's completely effed up, and we're going to act like, hey, you're just supposed to accept it. You have to tell a whole lot of backstory to tell us how we got here. And that was on J.J. Abrams for not doing that. And then you jump into a second movie that does exactly the same thing and then completely poops on all our characters. It's like, dude, we're not jumping in on the third. And you can bring in Palpatine's laugh all you want, but it's like, wait a minute. Now that I'm 5 seconds removed from that, it's like, no, now you're going to crap on Palpatine because that dude was actually dead by his apprentice. Now you're going to try and resurrect him or some mess, and you're like,
well, maybe Snoke will come back and be like, hey, you didn't really kill me, haha. I don't know. We could always. I feel like we could always go on Star Wars. So I know we could do like a 100th episode and go for 4 hours talking about Star Wars. But let's go on to all this other stuff because there's way too much stuff to just focus on Star Wars. So Ready or Not is coming out this weekend. It is a woman gets married into a wealthy family, and every time someone new gets married in, they have to play a game because the family runs a gaming company. So she picks a card, and the game is hide and go seek. and she realizes that they're trying to kill her. Now, I like this movie. I saw it and put it up, reviews up right now on LylesMovieFiles.com. But it got me thinking. So we've got Ready or Not, hide and seek. We've just had Truth or Dare. What child's game from back in the day would make a good movie now? That you could spin it any way you wanted to. I'm putting you on the spot right now. What would you come up with?
Okay. I'm going to go with red light, green light.
And let me remind you, we also had Tag.
I'm okay. Red light, green light. I don't know how I'm going to spin this, but I'm going to try. All right. Somehow you're on, because I'm seeing a Hunger Games in my head where you know, treasure or something. I don't know if I can figure out if this is going to be a horror movie or something. But somehow there's going to be mines in these little red lights, green lights. There's going to be some kind of surprise into it. And it's all a matter of which way the movie goes. Is it like a murder? Like, because I read your review for Ready or Not, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. I mean, it's like it could be silly, or we can make it into a very dark comedy. And like they went dark comedy. I'm like, oh, smart move.
It was good. It was as good as Truth or Dare was bad after the second half of Truth or Dare. Because I like the first half of the movie, but then they just got absurdly ridiculous with the dares. And it's like, come on, man. That's just. It was like the screenwriters were, oh yeah, here's really what we're gonna do now to shake things up. You've got to sleep with your best friend's dude.
Truth.
No, I mean, that was the dare. You had to do that. And I'm like, nowhere in that does it say you have to have sex. So it's just like, it's just stupid stuff. And hey, gay guy, you need to tell your dad that you're gay. Why is this a dare? It's just, Anyway, so that's all right. Red light, green light for you. Javon, what are you going to come up with, man?
I was thinking Simon Says.
Like a horror movie?
Yeah, I mean, but it's been done though, right? It's been done though, right?
I don't know. I feel like maybe not.
It wasn't a horror movie. What was that movie that came out where it was like the internet tells you what to do and then you got to do it? Yeah.
Now he remembers it.
Right.
wait. Because there was a really bad one. I really hated that one.
It came out recently, like in the last year or two, right?
Unfriended?
No.
Nah, this was like it was a dare. It was basically dare. It was Simon. The internet says go steal a motorcycle, and that was the trailer with a girl and a guy on a motorcycle. And he's
talking about
by.
Nerve?
Yeah, Nerve.
Nerve was good though. Nerve was actually really good. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
I wanted to see it.
Dude.
I wanted to see it because I like the premise, but I haven't gotten around to it. And it's not on cable. I'm gonna have to Cody that.
It is so good. I have it. I'll let you borrow it.
Okay.
It was.
But Jeff, is that the same premise?
It's like kind of like a game deal where it's a little bit more than that. They do these things. They can accept the challenge. They get money. They post a video, try to go viral. So it's a little bit more than Simon Says.
Okay, it's more. It's like a Simon Says, but
a horror movie.
Before the horror Simon Says, this is like a jigsaw who's telling you you're gonna do this or somebody close to you dies. We're not gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill who you love.
There you go. That's good stuff. All right, Chief. What you got?
A spirited game of hide and go get it. Childhood favorite of mine. You can only run it on Pornhub.
Like how you said, a spirited version. Okay.
No, actually, man, Operation, where
with stuff in the body.
You remember Operation when you had to go in and not try to mess up anybody?
So a doctor.
Well, yeah, but this time, like they.
No, Chief, that sounds kind of.
That'd be scary as hell too.
A doctor has 24 hours to get stuff out of people, out of his family. Oh,
Right. And basically that's what it is, man. He wakes up in a room and people wake up in the room and their family members are in there and different things are inside of them and they're going to have to operate on them in order to get it out.
and then they have stuff
You know.
like flashing strobe lights and things to distract them.
Well, whatever. I don't,
Oh,
I haven't thought that far into it, but yeah, something.
I like it. All right, so y'all are good, man. I just put y'all on the spot. I want to see your movies. All right, so that's good stuff. My boy Ezra Miller is refusing to call it a day with this Flash thing. He is saying it is absolutely confirmed. We are making this Flash movie. This movie has seen so many directors, so many screenwriters say, can't make it work. Ezra Miller, he's like, absolutely not. I am on it, and I am doing the thing. Are you guys remotely interested in seeing this Flash movie?
Tommy's sleeping on it. No. It's like, I mean, his idea was to do like one of the main ones he was talking about was doing a Flashpoint, and it's like, I don't even want to see you as Flash anymore. Like, if we're gonna get rid of Henry Cavill, who actually played the role of Superman, if he's out, you sure as hell need to go.
Cavill.
Sorry, I said it. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's not confirmed out of it. He still is interested in DC and Warner Brothers. Hasn't said anything otherwise.
But Ezra Miller's horrible.
I mean, I feel like Quicksilver. Like, what's my man that plays Quicksilver in the terrible X-Men movies?
Evan Peters.
I would go watch a Quicksilver movie before I watch his Flash movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Quicksilver is the best part of the last 1, 2, 3 X-Men movies. He's the best part of them.
Because I would watch like Days of Future Past one. He looked like he had a story behind him. It's like he's lived his life as like the Flash dude, and he's like, whatever.
Hey, dude, Jace, what was it? Days of Future Past?
That was the first one he was introduced, where he's like playing ping pong against himself. It's
right.
Like, this dude is.
Wouldn't you go see a movie about badass 17-year-old Quicksilver getting into trouble, discovering something, and saving the day low key, getting into his misadventures and all of that? Even if they make it the chick flick element, give him a love interest and all that, I would go see that.
Yeah.
I'd at least, at worst, I'd wait for it to come on cable, but I still want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see Ezra Miller as anything. I'm sorry, I don't.
I mean, like,
it's not against him personally. I ain't mad at him for who he is. It's just the Flash character sucked in the movie.
I mean, like, because he was in the last 2 Harry Potter. He was in the last 2 Harry Potter movies, but he was kind of like the dude that didn't have that many lines. So it wasn't like, oh, he drove the movie. It was just like, you're supposed to be like Dumbledore. Never mind. In case anybody hasn't seen it, I'm not gonna spoil it. But it's like he didn't bring anything to that role, so it wasn't like I need to see him. And you can't say he wasn't given a chance. It was like he was given a chance, and in Flash, he was given a chance. If maybe that was the role they gave him, but it was like, no.
Listen, you guys need to see Ezra Miller, and we need to talk about Kevin. If you haven't seen him in that movie, you don't understand and appreciate how good an actor the dude is. He played the mess out of that role. He's a dude that needs good material. He was also in another.
But see, Jeff, right there, you said it. You said it right there. Good material. How confident are we in the ability to give him or provide him a good material for a Flash standalone?
Zero.
Yeah, that hurts it. And I'm gonna tell you, he's not a strong enough. The Flash is not a strong enough character to me to warrant a standalone. And I know I said that about Aquaman too.
No. Flash has a ginormous. I know you don't watch the TV show, but Flash is enough.
It's a huge following, and people will go see it. Like I said, I was wrong about Aquaman in that regard, so don't take it from me. I just think that with this current iteration of the DC, if this was a Marvel, like if the tables were turned, right, and we found out the MCU was doing a Quicksilver movie, we'll go see that before we see a Flash DC movie.
Yeah,
I think.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I
track
think
record.
Like, we're going based on the old version of DC. It's like we have not seen a bad DC. Let me say, we haven't seen a arguably bad DC movie. I'll say since Dawn of Justice, and I say that based on the theatrical cut. I mean, like,
I thought you didn't like Suicide Squad.
wasn't that after?
After what?
Wasn't that before Dawn of Justice? No, I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, but I mean, I don't think any of them have been horrible.
Kind of stunk at the second act stunk. But that's me. That's just me.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I was trying to say, like, I don't think any of them were completely trash. Like, we won't trash any of the DC movies as bad as we do The Last Jedi. But it's like, but the new versions of them, like, since Wonder Woman, I mean, like, after once it got to Aquaman, I'm sorry. The best way to say it, 3 out of the last 4 people have loved. Like, I mean, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam. Another one should be good. I mean, like, if it's based on the DC proper, like, if they do some offshoot Joker mess, then we can't hold the Justice League version to, that a standard, because DC, whoever's Warner Brothers is putting out some Joker crap that has nothing to do. I mean, like, it's just basically using the character's name and just has nothing to do with the DC universe we know, because Jared Leto is still Joker as far as we're concerned.
Okay, you just mentioned Joker, so let me jump in here, because this is the next topic I just had to get you guys' take on. Mark Marone, who's in Glow, was on Conan talking about Joker, and he said that he was not going to be, quote-unquote, bullied into watching Marvel movies because ultimately they're aimed at grown male nerd child, or aimed at the grown male nerd child. I have issues with them, and I generally don't like them. I don't want to be bullied into seeing those movies. I'm not 7, and I think those movies are for grown male nerd childs. When the audience groaned, he joked, "Oh, really? Take the hit. You guys are in charge of culture. Now I got to go travel 15 to 20 minutes to a smaller movie theater to see a grown-up movie with other grown-ups where we can all sit together and not understand the ending. That's part of the experience, where you walk out and you're like, I don't know, did the guy die? It's not clear." That's the kind of movie I enjoy.
Of Glow.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to, like, so this is somebody talking bad about Marvel when he works on Glow?
No, look, don't knock the guy. Mark Maron's an established comic. He's a funny guy. I'm not just defending him as a fan, but he's entitled to that opinion, because I feel like that I share that opinion sometimes too. I do. Look, all Marvel movies ain't good. All comic book movies ain't good. It's a niche. You like it or you don't. Right. Some people don't like them, and that's okay. It's all right.
My question, though, Javon, is he's saying this as he's about to appear in this Joker movie.
Yeah. You know why he's saying that? Because they wrote him a damn check.
They wrote him a check. Dude, that Joker movie looks like pure trash. And it's kind of weird to be like, okay, these comic book movies are geared toward kids, and then being in a terrible version of comic.
Look, let me tell you something. When he has to go and promote that piece of shit in a month, everything he said is going to be tossed by the wayside, because he's not going to be selling his product. He's going to be selling the product, right?
No, he's going to be saying, "Oh, this is not a comic book movie." Oh yeah, so for people who don't like comic book movies, go see Joker.
Oh yeah, he's going to try to clean that up, but he's still going to have to sell a comic book movie. He's still got to sell, right?
Oh no! This isn't a comic book movie. This is Joker.
Oh,
this
really?
This is Martin Scorsese does Joker.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's basically how they're pitching this movie. Like, it's not a serious. It's a serious take on a guy who dresses like a clown.
Oh, really? And the prime rib at Burger King is prime rib, huh? It's still, you selling what you're selling, right? He's still going to do a flop, a floopity floop. He's still going to do one of those, because he's got to sell a product. What I've been thinking about that Joker movie? I keep feeling like it's not going to be as bad as we presume. For some reason, I just think it might be better than we think. It might
Javon,
actually be
that wouldn't
good.
take much at all because I have negative expectations.
0 expectations, and that's what
No,
I'm
not even zero. Negative.
negative.
-5.
0 is the floor, and I'm below the floor of my thoughts on this Joker movie.
Sub basement.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting anything, but I gotta admit, if there ain't nothing going on, me and Ruse might go see it. Hey, we ain't doing nothing.
All right,
We
Chief.
might go see it.
Are you gonna go see this movie, Chief?
I am not.
That's all you got.
It's like no elaboration. No.
Very flat, no explanation needed. Nah.
You had less interest than I did on it. So let that statement hold for the record.
Hey, did y'all know Hawkeye could sing real quick?
Jeremy Renner?
Yeah.
Maybe. What is he in that you saw that?
Yeah, he's got a band. He's got his own band.
Yeah, he's in a Jeep. He's the face of the new Jeep commercial for 2020, the new Jeep line, and he's his band. They singing, and he got a voice. He can sing.
That dude's pretty talented.
Yeah.
All right, so I have delayed this long enough. It's time to get into the heart of this episode, fellas. So Monday, I think it was, news broke that Sony had the revelation after the massive box office success of Venom and the surprising. You didn't even let me finish.
I'm sorry,
let me
that's
finish.
funny.
It made a lot of money. They're happy with what Venom did, and the big success, the runaway success of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Sony woke up and said, "You know what we don't need? Disney. This partnership with Disney is not working for us." Because apparently Disney was like, Kevin Feige's put together all this work behind the scenes. He's basically made your Spider-Man movies good, and he tried to help with Venom as well. And he's overall been doing all this stuff. We think he should get paid, and by him, us as well, and not the 5% off of the opening weekend that you guys are set up with us right now. And we like Spider-Man. We think we've done a great job with him. We want to get a little bit more of that cake. And the initial reports was Disney wanted a 50-50 split. Since then, it's come down to the Disney really was like, hey, 70-30 is fine for us. But this whole deal of not getting any slice of the pie, despite doing 99% of the work, that's not going to work for us anymore. And Sony said, bye. And that effectively means that Spider-Man, until negotiations continue or get worked out, Spider-Man's out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And that means that Spider-Man Far From Home, which really benefited from the connection tie into the MCU, will have to figure out its way in a movie where Spider-Man can't mention the influence of Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, the Avengers, Doctor Strange, etc. He's just going to talk about his own little pocket of the universe. And instead of cameos from anybody in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, maybe he'll run into Venom or Morbius or Silver Sable. Predictably, the outrage from Mark Marone's male nerd children was high, and people weren't that happy with Sony. Sony's stock took a serious drop, and everyone's like, Sony, you're stupid. But Sony thinks they're okay. I do not think they're okay. Fellas, let me hear from you first, Chief. What do you think about this news? And do you think Sony made the right call to stand up strong against the big bully Disney who wanted to get paid for their work?
Sony is out their damn mind. We were just talking about this. Like, how do you pretend like none of that other stuff has happened? Like, Spider-Man is so entrenched into the Marvel. Like Tony Stark was his man, so that's just forgotten. Happy's dating his mother. So does Aunt May disappear too now? No more Marissa Tomei? I don't even know how that goes. Like, and then if you think about it, like, what like Sony doesn't have a whole bunch of great superhero movies. Like, you know, is anybody looking forward to Morbius?
No.
Venom was some cut. Let's just start there. I watched that movie one time on a cruise ship, and as I watched it, I was like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't pay for this. Like, I'm glad this is all free. You know what I mean? So for you to turn around and be like, well, you know, I guess everybody gets arrogant. You know what I mean? Hey, you know, thanks, fellas. We can take it from here. They just, you know, it doesn't make any sense. Sony's really shooting themselves in the foot with this one. I mean, you got the franchise rolling. How many more films do they have Holland for?
They have Holland for somewhere between 1 or 2 more films. And the director who directed the first 2 in this home theme version of Spider-Man, John Watts, he's not signed up for any more films.
So what are they going to do like the last Spider-Man, this Nick Fury incident, and like what happens to all that? Like, how do you, like, you just ignore it? Nobody, like, they just...
I think the real problem was that Endgame marked a real conclusion to a chapter of the Marvel Studios saga, and Far From Home was like the epilogue. It was, hey, here's the closing chapter. So realistically, that was a perfect endpoint for the MCU take on Spider-Man. Okay, great, your secret identity's out. Now you got to figure out what you're gonna do. But the problem for Sony is they don't seem to understand that people really flock to those films because Spider-Man was linked and connected to the Marvel Studios universe. And it was that, hey, look, there's Nick Fury, there's Pepper, there's Happy, there's freaking Tony Stark in this movie.
That's my point, though. So what do? You just ignore everything that happened in the last movie? Like, that's what I'm saying. So, like, Nick Fury was in this movie, so all that other stuff that happened with Nick, and it wasn't Nick, it was Nick, it wasn't whatever, goes on, then everybody knows who you are, and you're going to fix that without the Marvel Universe? Like,
yeah, that seems like something that S.H.I.E.L.D. would help him with, right. But S.H.I.E.L.D.'s not going to be around to help him.
There's no other characters developed, dude. You have no one else there. Like, Sony didn't bring in, during these other Spider-Man movies, there's only been another one, but you didn't bring in another character,
right,
to help out. Like, they
didn't bring a Spider-Man character,
right? They didn't there's no other people in that universe but Marvel people. So
right.
As Sony, if you were going to be like, well, look, we're only going to work with Marvel for one more Spider-Man movie and we're out, then it seems that you would have bought, even for a couple of scenes or two, other characters into that universe, into your Sony universe. That sounds so weird, a Sony universe. Into your Sony universe, though, you should have bought other characters. And like I said, even for a second or two, that Spider-Man could eventually, you could eventually work within. Now, you in the span of a movie, you've got to find some friends for him, find some help, and not have it be weird that he's not going to his Marvel friends for help. And then work something around that. Like, dude, like, everybody knows your identity now. Like, you can't even take it. Like, how you want to go back in, like, time? Whatever the hell you do. Like, so I'm just curious what they're going to do, man. Sony, that was a bad move. You making almost $1 billion on these movies here. You can't pay Sony.
Chief. This was Far From Home was Sony's highest grossing movie ever. So they're thinking, they totally misread this, like, oh, we've cracked the code on how to make a good Spider-Man movie. We're going to ignore the fact that Kevin Feige put out the blueprint, but we're just going to assume that we knew what we were doing now. And
yeah, also, it was coming on the heels of the Endgame, so
right,
people wanted to see what the hell was going on in that universe now.
exactly.
So that was a lot. That based it on a lot too. I mean, I've never went to a movie saying, well, what did the director do? I went to that movie saying, shit, Endgame just ended. What kind of what's going on in this universe now? Like, what's where the people? Like, even when they did the trailers for it, they were like, well, they're the people they graduated with 5 years have passed. So the people they graduated, they went to high school with or out of high school, and they're still, their little group is still together of, certain friends of his, but the other, other people are gone. And I kind of wanted to see that dynamic of how the world changed, this, that, and the third after, the Avengers, after Endgame. So I went looking for that too, versus, you know what I mean? And plus, like I said, with that they made like 800 million or something.
Which one?
This last one, Far From Home.
Oh, it made $1 billion. It's
It made $1 billion. So
worldwide, yeah.
So here's the thing. So you rather go ahead and not give Marvel 300 million and keep 700 million for yourself, versus the next movie probably being some cut, because like I said, Venom was some cut, probably being some cut, and then losing 200 million, only bringing in 500 million or so. It is
And
what it is.
Not for nothing. Not for nothing. It's for my boy Javon. Spider-Man: Far From Home is Sony's highest-grossing film. It is not it's not even the highest-grossing. That's Sony's entire highest-grossing film. That's not close to Disney or Marvel's highest-grossing film. Just in 2019 alone, Captain Marvel made $1.128 billion. Far From Home made $1.110 billion. So Captain Marvel made 18 million more than Sony's highest grossing film ever. That was Captain Marvel's first film. I mean, just like in the context of that, they took a character no one had heard of and made more money than Sony's highest grossing film ever. So can you imagine them trying to do that with any random character? They're going to have Fantastic Four. They're going to have the X-Men. Disney doesn't need Spider-Man, but Sony absolutely needs Spider-Man in the MCU. Javon, you got something like that?
I just think it's a classic cutting off your nose to spite your face. Look, I'm not saying you do Disney any favors, of course not. Disney's got they got the knife, they got the glow, they got it all, right? When you think about it, don't they have the three highest grossing film franchises in cinematic history under their belt right now?
Well, yeah, I guess with Avatar and Star Wars and MCU, yeah.
Yeah. So I can understand not wanting to do them any favors. I dig it. I
Oh,
get
me
it.
too. I understand it, but man, if your highest grossing film is linked to Disney and Daniel Craig is leaving Bond after this last one, you need to start thinking about the future.
And you're not going to cast Idris Elba or make any significant kind of shakeup in regard to that franchise. You're going to cast a British white man or some kind of white man from that region, whether he's Scottish, Irish, British, whatever. That's who you're going to cast, right? I just, if I'm Sony, I understand. I understand what we're trying to do here. We're not going to give them our property because, for what it's worth, this is what we have. It's all we got, CMB. But you're not doing nothing with it, and you're going to pay on comparison. Sell it and start over. Hit the reset button. Look, there are a lot of. I'm pretty sure that you come up with something else. Maybe it won't be the Spider-Man name that you can hang your hat on. But the least you can do for yourself in this regard is sell it and make the money. It's like having a player that don't want to play for you no more.
Well, the
Hey
thing
man.
is, when Marvel was going through bankruptcy, and they were, hey, please buy this license, make
Mm-hmm.
film. They did that. This is Marvel's. That was Marvel's issue, and
Mm-hmm.
so Sony really was one of the main players that helped Marvel get stability to eventually become this Marvel Studios, Marvel Cinematic Universe because of the
Mm-hmm.
success of Spider-Man and Fox's X-Men series and New Line Cinema's Blade. All of those films helped pave the way for the MCU. But the problem is, Sony needs to understand it's been a long time since 2002
Yeah.
when Spider-Man was the biggest.
Biggest property out there.
Yeah, where it was like, oh shoot, Spider-Man. Oh man,
Yeah.
will any film be better at the box office on the comic book front than this movie? Oh, hey Batman. So the whole thing is they've been getting left behind,
Yeah.
and the last non Marvel Cinematic Universe or MCU affiliated Spider-Man was trending down. That was Amazing Spider-Man 2. That
Mm-hmm.
was starting to go. That was lower than the Amazing Spider-Man. So audience engagement with that Sony Spider-Man version was waning.
Yeah.
The MCU has been on the rise, clearly not done yet. And they're really missing out on opportunity because there's no Captain America. There's no more Iron Man. Thor is like kind of on the way out. There's no Hulk
Mm-hmm.
movie coming.
It's a
Spider-Man
clean
is going to
slate.
be the
It's the next big
centerpiece.
property. It's the
And
clean slate.
you can still make money with this partnership with Disney than trying to do it yourself because the
Well,
key is that connection to the MCU. Without it, it's just okay, it's another Spider-Man. Why are they remaking Spider-Man again?
well, you know what, Jeff? I honestly think this ain't the end of it. They haven't realized the mistake they made just yet. And the fact that there's not another MCU movie coming out for what? At least another
Next it's May, Black Widow.
Black Widow. So you got months to go. They're not gonna realize the mistake they made till they put out the next turd. And when I say turd, when I say that, I mean Sony, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they'll realize, and at some point they're gonna have to eat crow, and they're gonna have to come back to the table. Because the thing is, you don't want to put out, and I'm pretty sure that may even happen, where, like I said, cutting off your nose to spite your face, man, to prove how ugly you really are. They're gonna put out another Spider-Man, and it'll flop. It won't do as good because it won't be connected. Because if I'm Disney, my posture is the hell with you. You can't use none of our titles. You can't use none of our properties. Go to hell. Do your standalone and see how it does.
That's the thing. It's gonna be this deal where it's like, oh, and I think there's going to be a certain amount of backlash from the Marvel fan base. It's going to be like, screw you, Sony. We're not going to see this movie just so
Exactly.
you know that we're not happy with what you did.
Exactly. Exactly. So there people will talk with their dollars like that's the way you do it if you want to enact changing that. And they'll have to come back to the table because it's only gonna make good sense to do, and they'll have to do it. And I'm fine with that. It's just unfortunate that we gotta get here to get to where we need to be when it comes to getting a
Right.
good Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, because what we're going to get, I mean, I think they're like, oh, we've got the formula down. We did Into the Spider-Verse. We'll let Chris Miller, Phil Lord do it, and we'll have it all together. But I think the main thing that they're missing was Into the Spider Verse came at a time, Christmas time, where people
Mhm.
were like, "Oh, cool, new Spider-Man movie. It's animated, which was
Mhm.
different than any Spider-Man movie we've seen before." And so much of the unique nature of that film was utilizing film techniques that would be impossible in a comic book movie. But
Mhm.
we just saw Far From Home. Disney's like, screw you. We can do just as fantastic, just as incredible, just as awe-inspiring CGI and graphics as you can do on an animated film. Plus, we can pull out a Sam Jackson, hey, you got 2 hours to spend working on this movie. Oh yeah, why not? I'll come through.
Yeah.
Which
Watch.
makes a Spider-Man movie better just from the sake of, oh wow, it's still part of this larger universe.
Mhm.
And I mean, we've seen that with DC with their Warner Brothers with their DC universe. the connectivity of comic book films speaks to comic book fans on a greater nature than a standalone film will ever do. Because it's like, I read comic books, I know Hulk is in the same universe as Captain America. Oh, look, he's interacting with Captain America. I know Superman will race Flash. Oh, look, they're racing. If you try to do the standalone, you only get, I mean, geez, when was the last good standalone film that was able to exist in its own little bubble? The Batman Christopher Nolan films?
Yeah.
And that was, I would argue, was the end of that trend by the time Avengers was on the big screen and people were like, well, shoot, this is what you could do all the way?
Mm-hmm.
Why not do this all the time then?
You can connect all of these dots and make a
Right.
super movie
And
at
make
the end
$1
of it all.
billion. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like, if it's all about money, this is the way to do it, until people go, I'm tired of seeing them connected in these linked movies and having to watch this next movie to get to the next one. Nobody cares about that. Endgame just made the most money ever for a movie. I mean, that's the recipe for success.
Why
If you're
would
gonna
you
go,
not want to be down with that? That's my
right,
question.
right.
Why would you not? Hey, that's greed times stupidity, overeating on ego.
Dude, that was pretty good.
Thank you.
Should make that a T-shirt. Yeah, but it was. I don't get it. I think they're really are going to need to start paying attention to fan outrage and think, hey, maybe we can come to Disney with a new proposal, because I feel like that's the way to go. Jace, what do you think about this?
I say it's an opening pitch. I mean, is I mean, like, say initially that Disney said, "Hey, we need to be 50-50 partners." You're saying, all right, we've been making a crap load of money off not being 50-50 partners. Not the best partners in the world, but 50-50. We want to see if we can negotiate, because we do see Spider-Man is going to be a very big part of this MCU universe. Now, because there's no Marvel MCU phase uh, 4 or 5 planned for the next Spider-Man movie, we have a lot more room to negotiate. But in the short term, if you're a shareholder, you're also like, what the hell are y'all doing? Like, we just made the most money we've ever made on one of our movies, and then you're gonna spit in our partner's face? Like, come on, that doesn't make sense. Like, I think Javon said it right. It's like, why not? We get 700 million for the next movie, and chances are it would go up to at least 8, because conceivably that might be Tom Holland's last Spider-Man movie in actual standalone movie. So we would be in essence maybe making 700 to $1 billion on the next one. Now we're just going to throw out all we've done, and I mean, we might as well just go back to the Amazing Spider-Man 3. I was like, maybe you could talk like a negotiating point. It's like, hey, we'll just revitalize, the Amazing Spider-Man and continue that series, like bring out the Sinister Six, because that is almost the next logical progression on our Spider-Man universe, because we can't talk about anything from the MCU at this point. So it's probably a short-term negotiating strategy, but it's like, all right, they've already come down from 50% to 30%. It's like, all right, if they say 20%, we got to jump at it. Like, let's not try and negotiate it again, because there's going to come a point where Tom Holland is going to age out of the role, and we don't need to pull this crap where he's
Tom
like,
Holland won't age out of the role because he looks young and Peter Parker can continue to age. He's at the perfect age to set up 6 or 7, 8 films starring him in the Spider-Man universe. Maybe that's 4 or 5 solo films and 2, 3 more MCU connected films.
But he might get bored of the role. I mean, like, he's under contract, and he might literally be like, you know what, I was cool, in 2006 on that role, but it's 10 years later, and I still don't have a next movie. I'm done. It's like, because y'all can't negotiate. Y'all haven't figured out what my next movie is going to be.
I would direct his attention, just hypothetically, to say if he were bored, to direct his attention to Daniel Radcliffe and Elijah Wood following Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings.
They've already ate enough. I mean, so as bored as they are, he might just be like, you know what? He hit my man Draco Malfoy. It's like, you know what? Hey, I'm done. I'm basically done with acting. Then I'll take a role in The Flash when I'm actually really bored. Like, I don't. I mean, he's probably set it up very well. I mean, I think there was some rumor about some movie he made recently that just is not getting released because it's like horrible or something.
He's actually going to be in the Uncharted franchise, but they lost the director, and so that's kind of in limbo right now. He's got another franchise lined up, and he's still young enough that, hey, we can keep paying him money, and he seems to enjoy doing the role. I think they're going to have to do massive damage control if Watts decides, I like working with Kevin Feige. I'm not going to sign on for a third film. And then, the audience backlash. And then kind of like this waning, well, what do we have that's going to appeal to people with this series?
Well, I mean, the truth is, like, it seems like corporate interest when it comes to movies is actually a lot more reasonable with time. And you saw how Disney was, no, we're not hiring James Gunn, just get out of it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And then they just like, yeah, we hired him back like months ago. We just didn't tell everybody. I think in this situation, it will be a very public announcement. Hey, after cooler heads, they're going to try and not release the terms of the agreement. But it's like, hey, this is in the long run, we make more money out of this deal. Like, if we have to reset Spider-Man, that is going to piss everybody off. And like you said, like Jeff said, like there's going to be a backlash, and we just don't have time for that. Like, let's enjoy this money, this gravy train we're on, and not upset and not rock the boat.
Yeah, because it's silly to do that otherwise. All right, fellas. Anybody else got any words on Sony and their amazing business savvy on this one? If not, it is time for that special time of the week where we talk about the dummies of said week. I have a choice, and I figured we would all say Sony, so I'm not going to go with that one. Chief, we haven't heard from you in a second. What's your take? Who was your nominee for Dummy of the Week?
Dummy of the Week? What is it, Thursday? I think the dummies of the week, man, and some of y'all are gonna be mad, but man, why y'all rushing out there for a Popeye sandwich? It's just chicken, bread, some pickles, man. I mean,
Wait,
a sandwich form.
Wait, what?
Popeyes has a new chicken sandwich, and people have lost their minds for it.
I'm talking about the lines of the Popeyes is backed up and back into traffic.
Yeah,
you gotta shift
it's
lanes.
real.
2-hour-long lines.
It is ridiculous out there, dude. Over a chicken sandwich.
Hey, Chief, give us some background because I haven't even heard about this.
So Popeyes came out with a new chicken sandwich, and they're like, man, this is like everybody's like, oh, this is the best chicken sandwich I've ever had in my life, So pretty much everybody and their mama now in Popeyes trying to get a hold of this chicken, and then just cause
Hey, Chief, you're breaking up a little.
Oh, you go past Popeyes, you see a sign. We won't have chicken sandwiches till next Tuesday. It's the weirdest thing, man. And I'm just like, yeah. But that's what people are doing nowadays, man. They're going crazy over chicken sandwiches. What are you gonna do? I just think that's just what I mean? I just think that's outrageous. But that's me.
I 100% agree. That was going to be my choice. Or also the Popeyes that did not have enough chicken. Have you ever been to Chick-fil-A and they were like, "Hey fellas, we're all out of chicken. Sorry, no chicken sandwiches today."
Jason and I went to Popeyes one day, and
Dude,
they didn't
I've
have
been to
any chicken.
Popeyes and they've been out of chicken. I mean, that's your entire deal. I've never
what
been
you
to a
said.
restaurant. I mean, that's what you sell. It's like Pizza Hut. Sorry, no more pizzas today.
No pizza. We got pizzones though.
Right. Would you be interested in the pizzone? We have some cookies. Or IHOP saying,
pizza
hey,
place. No,
right.
man.
Or IHOP going, we just have waffles today. Sorry, no pancakes. This never happened. Popeyes is the only place I've ever been
Can
to.
I just say one thing real quick
stuff.
to that? To
Please.
to Chief W. You got a presidential administration that is tearing apart the fabric of the country. If that's even a thing. The moral compass of this country is gone if there ever was a thing. We don't acknowledge global warming isn't a thing anymore. There's a mass shooting a month. And y'all worried about a damn chicken sandwich.
In fairness, the chicken sandwich is a little bit easier to get than world peace and an end to. You don't have to worry about politicians gumming up the works with chicken sandwiches.
You're absolutely right.
Now the Republicans get on that one, it's gonna be that's where we're gonna see it go crazy.
That's when it's the purge.
Yeah. So, Jace, what's your choice? What's your nominee for Dummy of the Week? I know it's not food themed. I hope you remembered the one we talked about.
I'm sorry for laughing before we talked about this Dummy of the Week. But probably an hour before we recorded this podcast, I told Jeff about something rather stupid that I watched earlier this week. So I was watching Young Justice this new season, and they've gone a couple different topics. I mean, it's like a bunch of teenagers, and this year they've gone very heavily on the sexuality of the teenagers. Which, I mean, hey, it's a bunch of teenagers. What can you expect? But somehow, whoever was driving the brains of the writing staff decided to take a day off. What happened was, Aqualad, they've kind of, unlike first two seasons of Aqualad, they decided to make him gay to more align with the comic book. And during one of the missions, Aquaman is out with his boyfriend. I don't remember his name. But the unfortunate Wind. Yeah. Okay. Sadly, folks, that name's important. Somehow, sadly, Wind and Aqualad are about to do on a mission. But somehow, whoever was writing just completely went to sleep.
You have to give the context. Because Atlanteans...
They are... Right. These people... Sorry. Yeah, these folks are from the sea, and they do not typically rest on, and they're not on land all the time. But some reason, someone did not pay attention when they were saying this. But Wind makes the unfortunate comment, I'm not used to blowing and sucking wind air like this. I mean, no, I'm not used to blowing and sucking like this. I don't know who thought it was appropriate to let a gay guy say that, but it's just like, oh gosh, it's just like, we don't know if this is, who you guys are trolling on this. Are you trolling the gay people? Are you trolling just the folks that just like, wait a minute, like, you're trying to make the most hilarious line ever? I just was like so flabbergasted when I heard it. I'm just like, y'all did not have a gay guy say that. Like, that's got to be like so offensive. It's like, I'm not used a gay guy saying I'm not used to sucking and sucking like this. It's like, come on. It's just like
they tried it.
I mean, it was just like, I don't know if they were offended. Somebody was offended that they switched Aquaman's sexuality up, but it was just like, man, y'all just decided to have fun with it for some reason, and it was just like, nobody caught it. It was just like, I had to rewind it again. I mean, twice. Just like, wait, you didn't really just say that, right? I mean, just like, y'all didn't let that go through. But whoever let that one ride is actually my dummy of the week.
All right, Jake King, how about you?
Well, Jace, Jeff, Chief, Jay-Z did a little partnership with the NFL this past week. and it set everything. Black Twitter, every news publication, every outlet had something to say about it. And if I were to sit here and say that a dope dealer slash hanger on from a at the time more successful rapper turned biggest rapper and social influencer, let's be real, in the world, and businessman doing a business deal with a multi-billion-dollar company, if I were to sit here and call him the dummy of the week, I would seem like the dummy of the millennium, right? Jay-Z is not the dummy. The dummy here is all the people who have so much to say about it. I keep trying to figure out three things. When did Jay-Z become Stokely Carmichael to y'all? I'll wait. Well, he grew his hair. He did some prison reform things, and now all of a sudden he's, you know what I mean?
He's not real.
Huh?
He's all right, but he's not real.
He's not real, right? You know, I mean, when did he become Stokely? When did he become Medgar? When did he become that guy? Right? This is a businessman doing a business deal. Period. All of y'all acting shocked and appalled. It's like, why are you so upset? All you fake woke people who still wearing Gucci, who still will drink Cristal and Hennessy and all of that, really? Y'all mad because of this? And another thing, what does Jay-Z's business deal got to do with Colin Kaepernick getting his old job back? Hey, not for nothing, Colin Kaepernick had some offers before he was exiled from the league. Hey, his exile wasn't just because he kneeled, it's because we threw you a bone and then you ain't going to take that bone. Remember, this is $1 billion corporation. They don't buckle to nobody. Nobody's bigger than that game. And I've always wondered why that was, because in the NBA, in Major League Baseball even, certain players do transcend the game. Certain players do get away with what they want. There's no LeBron James type player in the NFL outside of maybe Tom Brady. Maybe, right?
If Tom Brady wanted to do something like this, they'd be off.
Then it's flying. Right? Whatever he wants is going to fly. But that's because Tom Brady is he's the most visible player in all of football. When you think football, he's got to that stage. You think football, you think Tom Brady. Same way with Michael Jordan, where you thought basketball, even today, you think Michael Jordan, right?
Hold on, Javon. Hold on real fast. I need to grab some Pepto off of your last statement. Dude, I'm going to really quickly. Mm-hmm. I've never, in all of my time being a sports fan, see somebody stumble into being declared great off of Pete Carroll not running the ball or the Falcons not running the clock.
I mean, Jeff, we could go on and on about that, but I'm just talking about general public consensus. This guy is going to go down as the GOAT, whether we like it or not. It's what it is.
I'm going to call Nick Foles the GOAT,
but it's what it is, right? Yes, we know. 18-1, baby. Yes, we know that he's who's the Falcons idiot head coach that decided at 28-3, you know what we're going to do now? Everything we did, we're going to go against everything we did in the first half. That's going to win us the game.
Everything we stopped doing.
Exactly. That's what we're going to do now. No, saying all of that to say this, Jay-Z did what business people do. They make business deals. And Colin Kaepernick getting his job back, if you thought that was going to happen because Jay-Z did his partnership with the NFL, you a fool.
Yep.
You a fool. What do you think? What did you think this was about? Colin Kaepernick's job?
After that settlement, he was never playing another down.
He was never playing another down, dude. And for Eric Reed to come out, all these people that just came out and said what they had to say.
Eric Reed came out because Jay-Z's camp was like, yeah, we talked to Colin, and he was like, no, you didn't talk to Colin. You sold him out. I mean, I understand why Eric Reed is feeling the way he does.
I mean, maybe I do, but at the same time, who signs your checks, Eric Reed? Shut up.
No, Eric Reed actually was with Colin. He's like, hey, I actually took some backlash too.
Yeah, I dig it.
They at
I
least
dig it.
signed
I
me.
dig it. I dig it.
Like,
But don't break your ankles. I always say, don't twist your ankle climbing down off your high horse. Because guess what? You still did after all of that. You petitioned to get back your old job so I can go right back to the mill and get my check. If it was like that, you would have told the NFL to go fornicate itself and did other things. Been a real activist for social reform, other than just doing. And I'm not saying what he did was just him trying to show out or what have you. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that if you really gonna walk that walk, walk it all the way. Tell the NFL to go fornicate itself. I don't need your check. If you really feel some kind of way about it, you can't have it both ways.
oh,
You
let's say,
cannot.
like, I mean, for a football play, I mean, is I would say like Kaepernick did something very bold because it's like he didn't get that Joe Flacco level contract after winning the Super Bowl, where he truly is like, you know what, I'm
we got a job,
but he didn't win the Super Bowl.
I know, like, I mean, he didn't get that super mega ginormous contract where it's like, I mean, he didn't have Kirk Cousins' contract where he's like, I got $40 million guaranteed. I don't give a crap what y'all say. He didn't. He had I don't know what his contract was. Now, I'm sure after his settlement, he will never have to work another day in his life. And that puts him as a better person because I still say somebody's not going to treat him very nice on the football field. And he'll be walking in crutches. He's doing better for society not to be in the NFL. Like,
I mean, for what it's worth, if we break down the numbers, he had one really good season in San Francisco after he came in as a backup.
Don't do it. Don't.
I mean, did he?
No,
it wasn't like he had
Javon,
four great seasons.
Javon, no.
Am I lying?
You're wrong.
Yeah. It's a bad narrative that they've kind of popularized out there. His seasons were better than dudes like Matthew Stafford, who got paid for winning nothing.
Yeah,
I mean, I just
Matthew Stafford got paid for doing.
Okay. Also, remember, Baltimore drafted a quarterback with a very similar playing style as Kaepernick, and said they didn't need Kaepernick. I mean, the Denver Broncos, who still haven't found a quarterback since Peyton Manning, had the opportunity to sign somebody.
I dig all that.
So,
I dig that,
yeah.
right? I dig that, right? But you know, I'm breaking down the numbers. His best season, 3,000 yards, 3,300 yards, 19 touchdowns. 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. That was his best season. That was 2014. Good numbers.
Rushing yards?
Rushing yards? It's like he had 1,000 yards rushing, so what does it matter?
No, you can't say it doesn't matter if you're bringing stats out. Like, if
he's not a running back, he's a quarterback. He's not a running back, he's a quarterback.
Okay.
If we're talking about a running back, then yeah, let's see what his rushing. Let's throw it out there. Rushing yards, best season rushing yards, 344. Now, if we compare Michael Vick's best season, where he had what,
344? That doesn't make sense.
No, it was written. I'm not making it up. And he's got total career 1,000 yards rushing, 1,060. I'm not making it up. This dude wasn't Superman playing football, okay? He wasn't. Let's be real. Hey, skip how we feeling because it's the failing of the day. Let's get to the shit. Let's get
Javon, you know, I'm a Niners fan, so my take on this is totally different. I'm just looking at Brady. Brady was 29-11 last year.
Hey, Jeff, I'm a Redskin fan, but I'm not about to sit here and pretend like, you know, Clinton Portis was the greatest running back in history or anything to that degree. I look at things.
Hey, man, the sheriff was money.
The sheriff was money on occasion. He had 3 great seasons, yes. But I don't look at it like, okay, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame before, I don't know, insert player here. I look at things the way they are. Cap had a good year. He had a really good year. But overall, if you look at Matt, and while we talking about Matt Stafford, you want to talk about stats. Hey, dude, Matt Stafford's put up numbers. Go look at them.
Okay. Javon, I'm just going to go on quarterback rating career for Colin Kaepernick. 88.9.
Okay.
I mean, total touchdowns career 72-30.
Congrats.
Those aren't numbers to sneeze at.
They've had sneezable numbers, Jace, but these are numbers warranting of $100 million extension.
I'm sorry. Do you think Matthew Stafford, who is sniffed one playoff win? Hey, I'm saying playoff wins. We got to look at all the other stuff. It's like playoff wins.
Hey, look, and then that's another thing too. We can't judge. That's another issue. Yeah, we're gonna sit here and judge stat cap versus Stafford's numbers and why they and this is deviating from the original point. But the thing about that is this: Detroit is a depressed franchise that ain't had a star since Barry Sanders. And of course, they were clutching at straws. They were clutching at straws with that one. But Stafford at least did this. He put up 5,000 yards in a 20 touchdown season. That's something Cap didn't do. I'm sorry, but he didn't do it.
All right, I think we also need to look at the fact that based off of the offense, they weren't asking him to throw the ball like that. I mean, he was putting the team in the positions to win. He got them to a Super Bowl. And
but that's like saying Dak. But in that same token, Jeff, that's like saying, yeah, pay Dak Prescott $40 million because it's the same principle.
But here's the thing. Dak Prescott is going to make some ridiculous number. That's what I'm saying. I guess that's what I'm saying. Dak is going to get a $100 million contract.
Unfortunately, he is. It's like Russell Wilson. Is Russell Wilson a product of his talent or the fact that defense?
Super Bowl.
He won a Super Bowl based on that defense of Marshawn Lynch.
I'm sorry. He got the two Super Bowls. Won a Super Bowl.
He got the 2 Super Bowls. Yeah, he did.
And
he did.
I mean, the last couple of years, that whole team's success has been based on Russell Wilson. It has not been any running back. It is them getting to the playoffs has been Russell Wilson.
Well, then again, Jace, that defense, even though they ain't the Legion of Boom, that defense still puts up great numbers. That defense stops teams. They keep games low. They keep games low scoring, and Russell Wilson and the offense drives downfield. Russell Wilson is a great quarterback, yes, but to say that like I always say about Peyton Manning was so good that he masked the deficiencies of his team. It's rare that you get a player that does that in any sport.
Peyton Manning did it in that Super Bowl against the Seahawks.
Shut up.
He did.
Shut up.
Yes, he did.
Everybody asked you to call Jeff. No one. No. There was no reason to bring that up.
Well, the thing about that Super Bowl was this: they got there and they realized, okay, we ain't as good as we thought we were. They made some changes and they came back. That team, Jeff, that Legion of Boom team would have beat anybody. Except
for the Niners.
Jeff, stop it.
Dude.
Crabtree. Put some sorry wide receiver like Crabtree in this. Come on, man. You saw that too.
Listen, I did watch that game. I'm not being a homer. I'm not being a homer.
You are.
No. I will be honest on a lot of days. But I'm 100% saying the refs were blowing major calls.
Oh, stop it. Nope. Stop it.
I will
You're
continue
being a
to
homer.
speak. No.
You sound like Tommy Heinsohn right now.
No, sir. No.
Yeah.
I'm not a homer. I'll keep it real and honest with football things. I have no reason to lie. All right. Well, I think we need to do another football issue episode.
Oh yeah.
Let's wrap this bad boy up here because I need to still write a nasty letter to Sony. Write it internet style and write it anonymous.
Leave him alone.
Save Spider-Man, please. Something like that.
No, Jeff, you let them do what they're gonna do because they're gonna regret it. Let it
Javon, I'm not really gonna write a letter.
Chief, I just want to say the picture you just sent us is perfect. I mean,
which everyone listening to the podcast can see. Thank you so much. That's real.
It's got the old shirt night. Yes.
All right. Anyway, fellas, thank y'all for rolling with me. Thank y'all out there for listening. This episode of Lyle's Movie Files has been filed.